Landon, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Mitch?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Cool. Just staying busy. Got my
Imagine
one thing
that.
is kind of, yeah, right. Like you wouldn't know anything about that either, I'm sure. Yeah.
What's
It
going
is
on?
funny though, speaking to people that in different industries, how much their life has slowed down, and I'm not so lucky. I've just been busting my butt as usual, if not more. So it's a good thing though, I guess.
Yeah. The business for people that had lots of tools in their tool belt stayed good even through COVID, and much to my surprise, and it's not over yet, but our collections on the owner finance houses, they seem like they're as good or better than they were before. So I don't know why that is, except for maybe we sold our Walmart houses to Walmart people. They were all essential workers, and the essential workers were booming.
Yeah, we had kind of the same thing where I think we're just getting better with collecting from people at the same time, because I had somebody working for me before who was not doing such a good job, so that was kind of a variable there. But we're definitely, people were thinking that I was losing money because of COVID, but I'm collecting as much or more. I think really just because our techniques have we've been faster and getting better at collecting the money. So,
well, we both know you train those people how to pay, and the more lackadaisical you are about when you'll accept payments, the more lackadaisical they get paying, and the tougher you get, the better they pay. So,
yeah,
so
that's the God's honest truth right there, Mitch. So,
yeah.
Something kind of changed. My dad came out from Florida, so he's working with me now, which is kind of nice because, there's a 100% trust factor there. So,
that's exactly the word I was about to say. You just found someone you could trust, right? So,
I mean, 100%, so I love it. I don't have to worry about, did I leave this screen open with my credit card information or bank account, whatever, it's a good thing. I'm enjoying it. He's enjoying it. So, and it's certainly a lot of work. So, but I had a question for you. I've got a realtor who's like a real pain in the butt. I'm trying to sell a house on owner finance, and supposedly her client wants this house. It's a $72,000 house. I bought it for $22,000 probably about 6 or 7 years ago. Maybe put altogether about $10,000 into it. And I've been making money on it as a rental. But anyway, I'm selling it now, and her client's got 15% down. And, in the conventional world, the realtors get the buyers get the pre-approval, and then they go shopping for a house. When they come to us, it's not necessarily like that, because her fear is that her client's going to spend money on inspections and appraisals and surveys. And I told him, I said, we don't require any of that, but she still thinks that he essentially needs like a pre-approval before going through the RMLO process. Now, I've done a whole bunch of these things, and I mean, we've sold, 60, 70 houses or whatever on owner finance. And I think literally 2 people didn't qualify once I knew they had their down payment and what their salary was. I could pretty much say, yeah, they're good. It was only like I said, about 2 times that it was something really egregious that we had to get rid of them. But what do you tell people like her, before they even go through the RMLO process? You can basically say, yeah, you're good. And then if you're saying that, then you think they're going to question, well, why do you even need the RMLO if you can say that this guy's approved or not?
Why do I need them? Because it's a federal law. Because I don't have a license, and I got to hire someone who does. So, it's a federal law. End of story.
Okay. So you're comfortable with telling people that they're approved before they even go through the RMLO process?
No. you're saying you're asking why what I heard was that the realtor was asking why do you need an RMLO if you can tell them they're approved, and I'd say, well, because I don't have the official stamp. I know what the RMLO wants, and it looks like to me you've met his protocol, but I can't. I'm not the final person with the license that can actually put the stamp on the piece of paper that says it goes through.
All right, so then we're back to, she kind of wants like a pre-approval before her client spends any money, like on the RMLO, for example. Because RMLO, they want some money up front.
Who are you using for an RMLO?
I'm using Scott Horn's guys.
Okay, well, I mean, like my guy, I don't know if it's because of volume or whatever, but if my people don't qualify, he doesn't charge me. I don't have
you
a
talking
lot.
About that Russ guy?
No, Tony Palumbo.
Okay, Tony. So he doesn't charge up front?
Not that I know of. I mean, like I don't deal with him on a daily basis. My office does, but no,
right.
I don't think he's ever charged me up front. And if a deal got turned down, we just waited on the next one, and he never charged me.
You know how much he charges?
I want to say I think it's around $1,200.
Okay.
But I do a tremendous amount of volume through him, so my price is a little different. But I can give you his number if you want to talk to him, but if you don't already have it.
Okay.
You want his number?
Sure. Yeah.
Let me find it here.
Actually, I do have it, Mitch. I wanted to see if I do have it. Oh. You still there, Mitch?
Are you there now?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
I don't know. This machine just muted itself. So, yeah, just give him a call and see what his prices are now. I can't say that I'm up to date on him, but
okay.
1,200 might be high. I don't know, but I don't think he's more than that. But
it's higher than I'm paying. I'm paying $850, which I think has been pretty standard for a while. $850.
And it might be, especially for a guy who's a pro like you that does a lot of volume. Just make sure he understands that.
Yeah. Okay.
And tell him I said hi, and tell him that I used to drink Crown Royal.
I was gonna say, I know you're not drinking anymore. So what's your new thing?
No, I just used to always tease him because he can't pay me because it's against the law. But I'd always.
Yeah. Now you like CBD oil? Or what's going on now?
Yeah, and he like Blue Star ointment.
Yeah. Yeah. To
go to Michael Cleary's thing, we're all getting a little older these days. How long have we known each other, Landon?
Well, I don't know. I guess maybe 7 years, 8 years, 7 years.
Yeah. Are y'all having meetings yet up there, or are the RIAs opening up at all, or anybody doing anything live, or is it still just Zoom?
We haven't done any. I saw somebody recently do one. I don't know how it turned out, but the facility that we're using, they said we could only have 40 people in there. So it just didn't make any sense for us because, instead of having like 150 people, we're only allowed to have 40. So it just didn't make sense, with all the social distancing stuff. So we're still not doing live ones yet.
Well, when it rolls over, give me a call because I'm going stir crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Love to have you back out here. Yeah.
Hey, how's your storage facility going?
It's going good. We we're gonna put some boats and RVs there now too. I'm glad you said that. We're getting the place filled up. It's not 100% yet, but we're getting closer and closer. But we want to add. We got like another empty piece of land that's on. It's right next to the storage units on the same property that we could build more storage units. But what I was thinking is maybe just putting boat and RV storage. And what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I could probably get maybe another 36 units, or I could just turn it into boat and RV storage. So I don't know what would work out better mathematically. Do you know what's better?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about open air parking, that's always the easiest, right?
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to do. Just get maybe a big tall awning, something along those lines, like a carport kind of covering.
Yeah, just check to see what the difference is in open parking and for covered. Sometimes you don't make that much money to spend on the construction of an awning, or a carport.
Okay.
So make sure it's worth it to do it. And most of the time when you look at it, it's really not going to be worth it, because you got X amount of money and you don't have to do anything but put lines on the ground, some numbers on the ground. And
right.
Then the other, you got to build something, and then how much more do you get to charge because you spent all that money to build something? And so it usually doesn't work out, but in the name of maximizing what your property can bring in over the long haul, you might decide to do it anyways, even though it doesn't make the ROI on the construction versus the extra you can charge might not be that great, but it's a forever kind of thing. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to look into that. What do you charge for boats and RVs? And if you do, what do you charge? Or does it depend on the size of the RV and size of the boat?
We're charging, in Corpus, our open air parking is just, 12 by 40 is the length of the space, and we just charge $65, But if we could have put an awning up there, if we'd have built awnings, we could have charged $150. Just because so many people have boats, and we were just like 2 or 3 blocks from Packery Channel, which was the shortest way to get to the Gulf by boat, and people just didn't want to park their $100,000 fishing boats out in the sun all day long. And so, but when we come to Canyon Lake and you want to build an awning, it doesn't pay that. You go from 65 to 85, and so you're making an extra $20, per stall. If you have to spend $30,000 to, or $50,000 to build that thing, you just got to do the math. What's the ROI? You got extra construction costs, and then you got the extra rent that you can charge. What's the ROI on that extra versus what you have to build, what you have to pay to build, and then you just figure out if you want to do it or not.
Okay. Yeah, they're not going to be $150,000 boats down in Angleton. We are closer to the water, so there are people who are going to want to store their boats there. But
I know, but almost any boat these days, I mean, is $50,000 or $60,000, right? I mean,
yeah.
If I'm not a boat guy, but it just seems like every time I can't believe the prices of these boats, So it's like, well, I can understand even at $50,000 or $60,000, but you don't want to leave it out in the weather all day long.
Yeah.
So, and plus you could get your pulse timers, you know what I mean? An easy place to plug in, because if you're going to have a boat, it doesn't make a lot of sense to park it someplace where you're going to show up at 4:00 in the morning to go fishing and your battery's dead.
Right.
So that's another thing when you check in to see how much your covered parking is. Does it have a pulse timer for the battery?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Everybody wants that plug-in so they can keep the drip on the battery so it's not dead when they get there.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you do with the ground? Is pavement, gravel, just the grass is there, or?
Um, well, it depends on the kind of ground you have, right? But if it's going to be muddy, yeah. I mean, I got people parking on grass right now, but I got really rock hard ground out here, and
right.
They're not going to sink. But if they're going to sink, you might have to bring in some base and then put in some golf ball size gravel on top of it, just so it's not filthy, all the time.
Right.
So
yeah, it's a little more muddy down there. We don't have rock hard soil.
Well, then you probably really have to put something down, like a 8-inch caliche base, and then some gravel on top of it, and make sure it's rolled and packed and done with a water truck or whatever, really packed down, and then put some gravel on it just to keep the dust down and to, keep the mud off their tires.
Okay.
It looks a lot better. Half the battle's appearance,
Right. Yeah.
And then people are parking out in the open. You want to make sure it's well lit.
Right.
Whether you have a carport or not, you got to figure out where the lights go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. How are your storage units doing? You doing good with them?
Doing good. I finished my big 323 unit Class A facility. Not multi-story, but just all one level. But taking longer to fill up than I wish. And then I, found out the other day that when you clicked on my address to get a map where we're going, it took it right to my competitor's place down the street and put a dot right there. And so it just really aggravated the hell out of me.
Wow. Yeah, so, that's really aggravating.
Yeah.
The Russians help you.
You pay people good money to build these things and set them up for you, and then, if you don't check every damn last thing, you find out your map is sending everyone down the street to your competitor. It's just Class A bullshit.
Yeah, that'd piss me off. Good Lord, that's bad.
Yeah. But we're coming along. We've got like 60 units leased, and we're about to break even. So, just takes a little time. It's an aircraft carrier. It doesn't turn around on a dime.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's what we're up to these days.
Yeah.
All right, I got some other hands up, brother. Anything else?
No. That's about it. Some stuff I'll ask you offline, but that's it for now.
I'll give you a buzz tomorrow or something.
All right, Mitch.
All right,
take care. Night.